We would open up the 2019 F1 season for pre-season testing in February, and it all looked good for Ferrari as they topped most of the timesheets during pre-season testing, so hopes were up for them. But as everyone says and all the drivers say, it's just pre-season testing, so times do not matter. 2019 would also see the return of Robert Kubica in the Williams, and would be his first time out racing in a Formula 1 car since 2010. What would he be able to do this season? 2019 would also see the start of new rookies moving up to top teams. For example, Charles Leclerc, who had moved from Sauber previous season up to Ferrari, partnering alongside Sebastian Vettel, and the new rookie Lando Norris, who would be partnered alongside Carlos Sainz in McLaren. What would he be able to show and what would he be able to be capable of this season? It all looked very close, but what would happen as we headed on to the Australian Grand Prix? But before the weekend even started, the whole F1 paddock was shocked to hear the devastating news that Charlie White, F1's FIA director, had passed away at the age of 66. Very devastating news for the whole F1 paddock, and he'll be truly missed. And with heavy hearts, as always, the racing continued. It would be able to put on a show as we headed into the Grand Prix. But before that, it was Lewis Hamilton who took pole position at the first race of the season, followed by Valtteri Bottas, who locked out the front row. 7 tenths ahead of the Ferraris. Looked like Mercedes were holding back in pre-season testing. What would happen now as we headed to the Grand Prix?
It's time to get going. It's lights out and away we go. Bottas gets away well. He's alongside Lewis Hamilton and he's making good progress. And there back is Daniel Ricciardo losing his front wing going into turn 1. Bottas ahead of Hamilton. Vettel ahead of Leclerc. And this is the first retirement of the Australian Grand Prix. And it's Carlos Sainz in the McLaren.
Left front one go on, not another pit stop drama for Haas in Australia.
Here he comes, he's getting closer. Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel almost was alongside the Ferrari. Down towards turn 3, Max Verstappen moves on into 3rd place. It was tight as they retire from this race. Daniel Ricciardo. He knows that he's the #1 in Albert Park today. It's Valtteri Bottas who wins the Australian Grand Prix, and he wins it by a distance.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, the start was really good. It was definitely my best race ever. I don't know what happened. I just felt so good and everything was under control, and the car was so good today. So truly enjoyable, and I need to enjoy today.
It's lights out, away we go. I think Vettel got the better of the start of the Ferrari, and Valtteri Bottas neck and neck with Lewis Hamilton as well. It is Sebastian Vettel out of the lead from Charles Leclerc. The 2 Mercedes with Bottas on the inside, going wheel to wheel through the first corner. And
Bottas after second.
Valtteri Bottas ahead of Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton now pressing Leclerc, who's gone from pole down to 3rd. It's not been the start that he would have wanted.
Is Leclerc going to do a lunge down into turn 1? No, he's not, but he's pushing Bottas hard and he's got the position.
So Bottas now struggling out of turn 2, and Lewis Hamilton is coming at him, and he's gone wheel to wheel already. We've seen 2 Mercedes go wheel to wheel, and they're plunging down the hill together. Can Hamilton get ahead of Bottas? He does. Carlos Sainz, and he really can see that rear wing of Verstappen getting very large. You can't see it now. He's gone past him. Can he get past him and make the move stick? Did they make contact?
The own is damage for Sainz.
Look how Leclerc is gaining on Vettel, passing Vettel. Into the lead goes Charles Leclerc.
And now it's Vettel who'll get the DRS down into turn 4. This is a proper race.
And very
Nobody's
nearly
yielding at all.
Hamilton's gaining. Which way is he going to go? The long way round. He's wheel to wheel with Sebastian Vettel. He's almost off the track. They're plunging down the hill. And for one moment I thought they touched once again.
Here we go again.
Hamilton goes round the long way, round the outside once again. He's off the track once again, and Sebastian Vettel's lost it. Coming out of turn 4. And there it just goes.
Ooh, it's really scary when it does that.
There's something straight through the engine.
Here he comes.
Copy that, we are checking it.
So Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix as Valtteri Bottas now passes him. Nico Hülkenberg.
Ricciardo as well.
Ricciardo's there as well. Lewis Hamilton wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc gets his first podium in Formula One. It should have been his first victory, but it was cruelly taken away from him through no fault of his own.
Oh, Charles.
It happens. It's part of motorsport. Unfortunately today it was not our day, but I'm confident the team has done an amazing job to recover the lack of pace in Australia. As I said, it's part of racing and we'll come back stronger.
It's your first podium. Let's look on the bright side.
As Mercedes capitalised on Charles Leclerc's disappointing engine problem which cost him the victory and his first Grand Prix win in his career, would Ferrari be able to hold the pace in China as we headed to F1's 1000th Grand Prix?
Here he comes, he's getting closer, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Round the outside once again, he's off the track once again, and Sebastian Vettel's lost it! Bottas covers it off, but he can't cover it off totally! Oh, he went into him. He might have lost a bit of front wing there, Sebastian Vettel.
Wheel to wheel stuff, look at this, they're almost touching.
And straight into the barriers goes Carlos Sainz and also Felipe Massa. Someone's lost some debris, and Bottas is turned round. Verstappen goes on the inside run.
Or is he going to allow Michael Schumacher to take the victory?
Tyres it out of the race, Sebastian Vettel.
Alonso's going round the outside of him. It's the first time these two have taken each other on. Hamilton's going to attack him, he goes on the inside. Raikkonen tried to play it cool, but he went wrong for him.
Side by side, look at Hamilton alongside Vettel. Oh, so close. He'll struggle to get round there.
They touch Martin. Sebastian Vettel needs to cover him off. Kimi Raikkonen on the inside, and he's crashed with Verstappen. He's hit Vettel as well. Raikkonen is out before the first corner. Has he got enough on the Ferrari? Under braking to squeeze down the inside. Hamilton's done it.
This is the opportunity that Senna's looking for, and he's going through. Out! Oh my goodness!
Hamilton's got problems. Hamilton's got a puncture on his right rear tyre. Down at turn 12 and another car spinning off. As Ricciardo into Sebastian Vettel.
Is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock. Oh my goodness me.
With some top speed down there and move, and that is the Renault. It is F1000, and it's lights out, and away we go. Bottas ahead of Hamilton, who got away well. Hamilton scoots past Bottas on the inside. Vettel challenging on the outside. Charles Leclerc goes on the inside of Vettel, and Fiat's got into Norris, and they're out of the race.
Let Sebastian by.
But I'm putting away.
He's going for it again. He locks up, gets ahead of Vettel. Vettel tries to fight it back again, and he gets pushed wide. Max Verstappen into the dirt on the inside. Verstappen can't get ahead. Lewis Hamilton winning the Chinese Grand Prix.
Awesome job, guys. What a fantastic result for us today. I'm so proud of everyone. Thank you so much.
Charles Leclerc looked like the one to beat in Azerbaijan as he topped all 3 practice sessions, but all that luck came to an end at the castle section in qualifying where he made this mistake.
There's another big crash. It is Charles Leclerc.
It would be Valtteri Bottas who capitalised on that mistake, beating Lewis Hamilton and his teammate to pole position for his second pole of the season. What would happen as the lights go out? We know we've seen insane Grand Prix here before, would it be another?
It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets a mega start and Valtteri Bottas under pressure already as the two Mercedes go wheel to wheel. Bottas just ahead of Hamilton from Sebastian Vettel. Perez challenging Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen goes down the inside of Sergio Perez.
Here's Leclerc. Next victim is Max Verstappen.
How easy was that? Grosjean locks up, takes to the escape road, makes it rather easy for Daniel Ricciardo. Bottas retakes the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and there's two cars down there, and he needs to get past it for his and Ferrari's own sake, and he manages to do so. Is that Pierre Gasly? It is Pierre Gasly. It's going to be another 1-2 for Mercedes-Benz, and it's victory for Bottas in Baku. Valtteri Bottas wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go, and Hamilton gets a very good start. He's wheel to wheel with Bottas already. Behind them, Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen, and it's Hamilton and Bottas wheel to wheel, and now Vettel's joining in on the action as well. Into turn one we go. Vettel locks up, goes wide. Hamilton into the lead. Bottas gets through in second, and the two Ferraris do swap places, and is trying round the outside at turn 4. You don't often get past there in Barcelona.
And there goes the switch.
Lando Norris has gone off. Lance Stroll has gone off with him. Gasly's going wheel to wheel. Magnussen on the inside of Grosjean as well. Leclerc ahead of Gasly. Grosjean goes wide in his battle there with Kevin Magnussen. Gasly's hanging on in there somehow. He's gone round the outside, and once again Romain Grosjean has to go to the escape road. Lewis Hamilton wins the Spanish Grand Prix, and for the 5th time in a row, it's a Mercedes 1-2 as Valtteri Bottas comes home second.
So it would be Mercedes' 5th 1-2 of the season so far, completely dominating the rest of the pack at the moment. Would anybody be able to catch them as we headed to Monaco? But before the Monaco Grand Prix, the whole F1 paddock was shocked and broken from the loss of Niki Lauda. Niki Lauda was a true legend to F1 who had won 25 Grand Prix wins in his career, followed by 54 podiums and 3 championships. But his life had been really affected after his crash he had at the Nürburgring in 1976. Unfortunately for him, the incident would lead to his death many years later. He'll be strongly missed by everyone in the paddock and the whole F1 community, and may him rest in peace.
Where it's lights out and away we go, and Hamilton gets away well. Bottas tries to cover on Verstappen, and then comes Sebastian Vettel. It's wheel to wheel, Bottas and Verstappen. Bottas just squeezes past the Red Bull there. Charles Leclerc gets past Lando Norris and up into 13th place. The Ferrari has got through. The defence from Romain Grosjean didn't pay off there.
That one didn't work.
Oh dear, and he's now shredding the tyre to pieces and possibly causing a lot of damage, Charles Leclerc. Bottas is away, and that must be an unsafe release. Max Verstappen has a 5-second time penalty. Down the inside goes Giovinazzi and spins George Russell round. Now we have got a car park at Rascats. Russell gets going, Leclerc gets ahead. Charles Leclerc retires from his home race, and what a wretched home race it's been for him.
Again, it just drives into me.
He's going to have a go.
Is he going to send one?
Lewis parks the car absolutely perfectly. Here goes Verstappen down the inside on Lewis Hamilton. They make contact. Hamilton wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Lewis, that was a victory worth Niki. Well done, unbelievable job, congratulations.
.70 laps ahead of us here in Montreal. It's lights out, away we go. Good start from Vettel and from Hamilton. Leclerc now comes up on the inside, and you've got Ricciardo ahead of Gasly and Bottas. Vettel into turn 1, wheel to wheel. Leclerc and Hamilton, but Hamilton gets the inside line through turn 2. Lando Norris has a problem with his right rear. Look how hot those brakes are getting at the rear, on fire as well.
It's gone very wide in turn 10 as Lewis Hamilton. That's cost him dearly. Oh, he's gone wide.
Sebastian Vettel goes wide, and Lewis Hamilton have thought there was a gap. Sebastian Vettel has been given a 5-second time penalty.
I had nowhere to go. Seriously, I had nowhere to go. I didn't see him.
That's going to go for it down the inside, and that's a very neat move indeed. Sebastian Vettel takes the checkered flag, but Lewis Hamilton wins the Canadian Grand Prix.
No, guys. No. Not like that. Not like that. No.
Lights out, and away we go. The Mercedes getting away well. Lando Norris starting well, already up towards Charles Leclerc. It's Hamilton out in front from Bottas. This is George Russell taking the bold route round, and that's how that bollard got removed. I would suggest the stewards are going to take a look at this as well.
Picked up understeer on his way into turn 8, but look, if the stewards want to stick by the rules, like we saw in Canada...
Well, he's rejoined the track and forced Lando Norris off.
Kimi Raikkonen does nothing wrong. He's guarding to the edge of the circuit.
Lewis Hamilton wins the French Grand Prix from pole position, and he's led every single lap.
After 8 rounds into the season, Lewis Hamilton took another victory, which would see him secure his 6th Grand Prix win of the season so far. But not many people were talking about Lewis Hamilton's win after the Grand Prix. Most of the discussion was about how boring F1 had become, and a lot of people were talking about how they were not going to watch F1 again because it's so predictable. But that would change round in Austria.
Lights out, away we go. Verstappen gets an awful start. He's already been bypassed by the two Mercedes, Norris and Raikkonen as well. Leclerc leads from Bottas. Then comes Lando Norris ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And wheel to wheel with the Mercedes there. The two British drivers really going for it. Hamilton eases ahead of Norris, slots back behind him. There goes the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel squeezing past Lando Norris. Is the McLaren going to go round the outside? Vettel breaks just that fraction later.
They're not ready for it.
6.1 seconds Vettel was stationary for. As Verstappen goes round the outside again, Max Verstappen is up into the podium positions. Max Verstappen manages to clear Valtteri Bottas. As Verstappen goes down the inside once again, he's wheel to wheel with Charles Leclerc down towards turn 4. Verstappen's got DRS once again. He's so close, but it is a very tricky part of the track to overtake if you're not ahead going into the braking zone. Verstappen late braking. Leclerc this time might just have to give way. Max Verstappen has just sent Holland into raptures. Sebastian Vettel goes past into turn 4, and Hamilton's run of podium finishes is going to come to an end. 6 victories in Formula 1 for Max Verstappen, and this, number 6, was very much the best. Verstappen wins the Austrian Grand Prix.
Oh, could have done that after that one. Great job, boys.
Verstappen would hold on to his win and take Honda's first victory since 2006 with Jenson Button at the Hungaroring. But after Leclerc's frustration after losing a Grand Prix that he could have won, would he be able to get back on Max Verstappen in Silverstone?
It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton, I think, got a better start, but Bottas is just ahead at the moment. Covers off his teammate Leclerc in third from Verstappen, and then Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris looks to be making a decent start. He's level with Daniel Ricciardo already.
Bottas has the lead. Hamilton wants it straight away.
Hamilton is that much closer to Valtteri Bottas, but this time they're going to have to go wheel to wheel through Brooklands, and somehow Bottas is staying ahead, but he's got a bit too deep. And Hamilton through Lovefield. Lewis Hamilton leads the British Grand Prix. Bottas, though, is going to come back at it through Cobbs. Bottas retakes the lead. And there goes Max Verstappen, diving down the inside, has to switch now to go round the outside, and he's conceded a bit of ground here because Sebastian Vettel's right on his tail. As into the pits comes Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. And look, they're now wheel to wheel down the pit lane, and they have swapped round in the pits. He's gone wide. Has all the good work become undone as Verstappen tries to fight back and then sees Charles Leclerc swoop past him. Here comes Max Verstappen again. How did he not make contact with a Ferrari. Here goes Max Verstappen into Brooklands. Charles Leclerc is still ahead. Here comes Verstappen again. He's almost pushed onto the grass. Somehow Leclerc stayed ahead. The yellow flag is for Antonio Giovinazzi, who seems to have dropped it in the gravel on the exit of the Vale chicane. Hamilton surely coming into the pits. Yes, he is.
Even a sort of generally safe stop like that is surely going to give Hamilton the lead of this race, Crofty.
Oh, there goes Verstappen on the inside of Charles Leclerc. He's been doing all the attacking on Leclerc. Now he's defending. They do touch wheels as Charles Leclerc barges his way through, and Max Verstappen hangs out around the outside to try and regain the place, which he does.
Tremendous racing.
He's going to go for it. It's Charles Leclerc. That is absolutely epic. Verstappen's going for it on Sebastian Vettel, and he's got the job done. Going into Stowe. Oh no! Sebastian Vettel's gone into Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 British Grand Prix wins.
He does it, fastest lap as well on the last lap.
All the crowd, thank you so much for all coming out. I appreciate you all.
After Lewis Hamilton winning a classic British Grand Prix, would we be able to see another fantastic race in Germany?
And it's lights out and away we go. It's a tentative start from everybody, but Hamilton gets away well, as does Bottas, and Verstappen's dropping back as Raikkonen is already ahead of him as well. Verstappen on the inside of Grosjean going wide. Valtteri Bottas through turn 1. Oh, there's a spin. There's a spin. It's Sergio Perez. Perez is out of this race. They're all coming in, Martin. 2.6 seconds stop time for Hamilton, but Bottas getting caught out because he had to stay stationary whilst other cars went past. Sebastian Vettel alongside him into turn 1. This could be interesting as they concertina up. Magnussen can't take it as fast as he would like to because he's on the slower tyre.
Well held, young man. Somebody's blown up.
That is Daniel Ricciardo, and that looks like a massive engine problem. When he's having a look down the hairpin, he's got it all wrong. Oh, that is Carlos Sainz.
Vettel then pits for slick tyres.
Give me the soft tyres. Straight for hard.
That looks like a technical issue though, doesn't it? Oh, we got another spinner there while we're watching that.
Oh, Charles Leclerc's gone out, gone right and gone out. Leclerc has gone into the barriers at the penultimate turn, and I think Lewis Hamilton's gone off as well, but he's carried on.
He's lost his front wing, hasn't he? Had no idea that it's happened.
Well, they weren't ready for him because he's only come in because of that accident. There's a 5-second time penalty for Lewis Hamilton for going the wrong side of the bollard. There is the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg, and he's ending his home Grand Prix in the barriers.
We've got a gambler on slicks. Who's on Stroll?
But Hamilton in a bit of trouble here, and Alex Albon will go round the outside. Sainz goes down the inside. Now wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton as Albon goes wide. And from 4th, Albon is all the way now down in 7th place. The gamble at Racing Point has put Lance Stroll into the lead of the German Grand Prix.
With Verstappen right on his tail. The big letterbox in the rear wing opens and he sails past in the Toro Rosso Honda.
Someone's gone off, and it's Lewis Hamilton who's gone off at the first corner. Oh, and that's sliding out. That's Valtteri Bottas. Bottas is out of the race. The speed of the Ferrari carries Sebastian Vettel past.
And I think he just runs into the back of him as he pulls to the right.
He does. No. Listen to the roar for Sebastian Vettel. 20th up to 2nd. It is fireworks and flames for Max Verstappen, the winner of the German Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel from 20th to 2nd, and keep the applause going for Danny Kvyat, a 3rd podium in Formula One. Well done to Toro Rosso and to the Russian. It's lights out and away we go. Verstappen this time around does get an excellent start, and Hamilton too. Already on the tail of his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Bottas coming back at Verstappen. 3 abreast with the 2 Ferraris behind. Bottas locks up his brakes. Verstappen on the inside into the lead. Hamilton gets squeezed out a bit. Hamilton is trying round the outside of his teammate and might squeeze through on the inside now, and he does. Danny Fiat's going to try again down the inside. He telegraphed that move on the last lap. Albon saw it coming. This is great racing from the two Toro Rossos. Nobody's giving it an inch, and eventually Alex Albon is forced out wide.
Okay, Lewis, it's hammer time.
Teammate.
I think he made a mistake. I think Verstappen made a mistake in there somewhere.
And Hamilton is gaining now on Verstappen. He's gaining. Goes a long way round turn one. Verstappen just about holds on. Leader and second place, almost wheel to wheel. This time Hamilton goes round the outside in turn four. Goes off the track in doing so. Verstappen keeps his place out in front. Right, go catch Max Verstappen.
Has that caught Red Bull out?
Hamilton chases down the main straight, pulls out to the right-hand side, and into the lead. There goes Vettel. Leclerc thought about defending aggressively. Vettel forces Leclerc a little bit wide there. It is victory for Lewis Hamilton. He wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
After 12 rounds of the championship and F1 headed off onto its summer break, we would see Lewis Hamilton completely dominating the championship at the moment with 250 points, miles ahead of Valtteri Bottas with 188 points, and Max Verstappen just behind him in third with Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc rounding off the top 5. The first half of the season would also see Lewis Hamilton take 8 Grand Prix victories out of the 12 rounds. So the first half of the season was a very interesting one, but what would happen as we headed on to Belgium after F1's summer break? As F1 came back from its summer break, we had news as Alex Albon would be promoted up into Red Bull, taking Pierre Gasly's spot, and Pierre Gasly would be demoted back down to Toro Rosso, which he was driving for in 2018. Gasly had quite a poor performance in the first half of the season, and clearly the Red Bull team, Dr. Helmut Marko and Christian Horner and a few others had seen more potential in Alex Albon compared to Pierre Gasly and wanted to see what Alex Albon was capable of, and we would see what would happen with Pierre Gasly back down to Toro Rosso if he were able to settle in a better position again and see if he could build his way back up. But unfortunately, we were heartbroken once again, as the whole F1 paddock was shook from a deadly accident which involved Anton Hubert, which we sadly lost that following night. Hubert was a rising star in Formula 2 who had previously won the GP3 Championship in 2018 and won the French Formula 4 Championship in his first year of car racing. He recently just took his second victory at his home circuit at the French Grand Prix and won at Monaco before that. But we will never forget Anton Hubert, fantastic driver he was, and he'll be deeply missed in everyone's hearts. May you rest in peace.
It has been the most devastating, tragic of weekends, but as Lando Norris said, we'll go out, do our race and see what we can do. And it's lights out, away we go. Great start from Albon. Sebastian Vettel tucks in behind Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton on the inside, trying to get in. Vettel, Kimi Räikkönen has been made contact with and is bouncing over the curb. Here comes Sebastian Vettel again. He's going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton. The Ferrari is ahead and into second place. And that is out. That is Max Verstappen out already. It could be Häkkinen, Schumacher and Ricciardo Zonta all over again. This time it's Perez ahead of Gasly, ahead of Räikkönen. Here he comes, Lewis Hamilton. He pulls out alongside Sebastian Vettel. He pulls ahead of Sebastian Vettel. And the main corner is next. That's bold if he's going to go past Ricciardo there. That is the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. Alex Albon going onto the grass to get past Sergio Perez.
It's broken! It's broken! It's off.
Charles Leclerc can now see the checkered flag, and for the first time ever, Charles Leclerc wins a Formula 1 Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc wins the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yes!
Congratulations. Yes, this one is for Antoine. Feels good, but yeah, difficult to enjoy on a weekend like this.
It's lights out and away we go. Leclerc gets away well. Hamilton and Bottas now jockeying for position. And Hamilton coming alongside Charles Leclerc with Bottas now with some free space. Sebastian Vettel behind him. Leclerc goes into the first chicane ahead and just ahead as well by a matter of inches. We are on board, wow, with Alex Albon. And Carlos Sainz and they touch. And Albon gravel. Sebastian Vettel, and he's spun. And he's coming onto the track just as Lance Stroll goes past him as well. And Stroll now comes back onto the track, and Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso has to go wide, all down at the Ascari chicane. Hamilton now pulls out to have a go at Leclerc. Leclerc stays ahead by about a car length and a half. This is brilliant racing. Is it a grande move from Lewis Hamilton towards the Della Roggia chicane? Leclerc's on the inside. Hamilton goes onto the gravel. Carlos Sainz has left the pit.
It's a loose wheel. They had a problem with it. They had a problem with it in the pit stop.
Leclerc locks up, goes through the chicane. Hamilton now is right on the rear wing of that Ferrari. Wanted to go round the outside, has to switch to the inside. Leclerc is making it very difficult indeed. Ooh, lock up from Lewis Hamilton goes on into the runoff area at that first chicane. And he's got DRS as well. Will Valtteri Bottas be able to go for it? Is to avoid blocking up in the way that he did. He won in Spa, he wins in Monza. Charles Leclerc is the winner of the 2019 Italian Grand Prix. It's lights out, away we go. It wasn't a hold for very long at the start. Leclerc gets away well ahead of Hamilton and Vettel. Hamilton fighting Sebastian Vettel.
Hamilton's going to be under pressure with the sheer speed of the Ferrari.
Vettel's coming back at him again. Hamilton defending for all his life. And he wants to go for it at places you don't normally see cars getting past. Down the inside of Danny Kvyat at turn 14. Nicely done. Stroll gets a good exit as well. Ahead of Vettel.
These two.
Well, Vettel's going to get ahead of Leclerc here, and he is.
I thought he would.
This could be contact. Gasly is forced off the track. Antonio didn't put up too much of a fight, the Italian against the Ferrari. And he's trying to defend against Daniel Ricciardo, and they contact.
Impressive if Ricciardo hasn't got right rear puncture or damage.
He has.
He has.
Grosjean and Russell tagging. Oh, Russell gets tagged by Grosjean. Oh, it's a big lock up there by Lance Stroll. And he's got Antonio Giovinazzi with him, and he's got damage. He's got a puncture. Perez going very slowly indeed, and this looks like mechanical trouble for the Mexican. Down the inside goes Danny Ricciardo. Grosjean on the outside, Ricciardo on the inside. Ricciardo pushes Grosjean a little bit wide. They make contact. Here's Kevin Magnussen and Pierre Gasly going into turn 14. Gasly's ahead. Hulkenberg's ahead. Kvyat's going to have a go into turn 1. Oh dear.
Broken suspension.
And there's a right-on scrap going on behind there. Romain Grosjean with Carlos Sainz right behind him. For the first time in 2019, Sebastian Vettel takes the checkered flag and wins the Singapore Grand Prix. And a win that, unlike in Canada, will stand. It's lights out and away we go. And they were held for quite a long time, and Sebastian Vettel got a really good start. He's already wheel to wheel and past Lewis Hamilton. And here comes Carlos Sainz as well. Leclerc leads. Sebastian Vettel pulls over to the right-hand side. The McLaren's getting interested. The Mercedes are dropping back, and Sebastian Vettel takes the lead into the first corner. And Grosjean's out. Grosjean's out of this race.
Let chance by. So left to close up.
For the second race running, the Ferrari that's behind is pitting first. This is properly personal, is this? And is Alex Albon ahead? No, Gasly has got the inside line. And he has pushed. He's pushed to the extent that now Charles Leclerc is ahead of Sebastian Vettel. An MG UK problem for Sebastian Vettel has seen him retire from the Russian Grand Prix. Ferrari's mechanical retirement for Sebastian Vettel has handed Mercedes the lead.
Something's broke. He's lost the brake pedal, I tell you. Luckily, he was going slow.
Here he comes. This time pulls out into the left-hand side, to the right-hand side. Gasly almost wiped out the front wing of his teammate and ended up losing a place to Kimi Räikkönen as well. Lewis Hamilton wins the Russia Grand Prix, and for the first time in a long while, Toto Wolff smiles at the end of a Grand Prix.
What an incredible job. Thank you so much, everyone. That's exactly what we needed. We never give up.
As we headed on to Japan, the qualifying session would be cancelled on the Saturday and would be moved on to the Sunday morning of the Grand Prix due to a massive typhoon which hit Japan that weekend. Sebastian Vettel would take pole position though, for only the second time this season from his previous pole in Canada. Would he be able to hold on to it though?
It's lights out and away we go. Vettel didn't get a very good start at all. He's already been passed by Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton on Charles Leclerc. Vettel in second place, and through on the outside goes Max Verstappen now. Charles Leclerc's on the inside. Verstappen's challenging, and they touched. Oh dear. I'm going to say Alex Albon getting past Lando Norris. Here's Charles Leclerc on Max Verstappen. Here comes Charles Leclerc towards 130R, and he's got past Kimi Räikkönen. Wow! And is that Max Verstappen retiring from this race? I think it is. Now he senses that second place could be his in the race. Sebastian Vettel pulls out to the inside. Hamilton tries to go round the outside. Out of the race is Sergio Perez. Valtteri Bottas, winless since Baku, has taken the Japanese Grand Prix. Well done to Valtteri Bottas. Mercedes are crowned Constructors Champions for 2019.
The win for Valtteri Bottas would not only see him take his first win since Azerbaijan earlier this season, it would also see Mercedes round up the Constructors Championship for the 6th year in a row, and would now see the championship closed down between only two people, and that would be Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. So who would ever win the championship, it would still be a Mercedes driver, and it would be 6 titles for Mercedes, but it would be Lewis Hamilton who would have the advantage going into these races, as he was miles ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas in the championship, and looked like he could round it up at the next round in Mexico.
We are all set here. It is Mexico City, and it's lights out and away we go. Leclerc gets away well, as does Vettel, and Hamilton and Verstappen. They're all in the same order as now Vettel tries to pull into the slipstream of his teammate, and they're all getting into contact with each other. Hamilton and Verstappen are on the grass. Lewis Hamilton's not had the greatest getaway, and he is already, is Hamilton down in 5th place. Now these are the two Ferraris. Didn't see anything fly off Leclerc's car. And there is a very nice move from Max Verstappen that's got the crowd on their feet. This is a brilliant tussle.
Looks like a right rear puncher, Max. Right rear puncher.
Front left isn't on. Front left isn't on. I could see it from the guy, the mechanic. Knew it wasn't on.
That is Max Verstappen's contact.
And now he's right. It's the leader. They're right in the way of the leader. Getting blue flags a good measure.
But what's happened at the rear? Charles Leclerc stuck for way longer than he would have wanted. He's lost 4 seconds. Down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. That will be loved by every single person here who's not wearing yellow and black. And they make contact here. Hamilton comes home to win the Mexico Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas keeps the title fight alive with 3rd.
As Lewis Hamilton won the Mexican Grand Prix, the championship was not over yet, but all Hamilton needed to do in Austin was secure 4 points ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas to secure his 6th World Championship.
It's lights out and away we go. Bottas gets away well, so does Verstappen. He's already wheel-to-wheel with Sebastian Vettel. Lando Norris on the inside of Alex Albon. There is contact between Albon and Carlos Sainz. They go off the track, and Hamilton has passed him and has made his way up into 4th place. Vettel is coming back at Charles Leclerc, and that's a lock up there from Sebastian Vettel as Norris goes down on the inside.
Oh, look at that.
What's happened there? Sebastian Vettel has massive problems. Bottas pulls out to go to the right, the long way round the corner. Hamilton fights him off though. This time he gets it done. An awful lot earlier. Valtteri Bottas retakes the lead of the US Grand Prix. And out of the race goes Kevin Magnussen. Here comes Valtteri Bottas, started on pole for the US Grand Prix, crosses the line to win the US Grand Prix. But behind him, adding another championship to his collection, he's got 6 appeal in Austin. It's Lewis Hamilton, champion of the world.
Get in there, Lewis. What a drive, mate. That is it.
champion of the world. Did it in style, mate. You did that in style.
Still we rise, guys. Still we rise. What an incredible weekend. Thank you so much, guys, for today. And to everyone that came out. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it.
After Lewis Hamilton's second place in Austin, it would see him secure his 6th World Championship and his 5th for Mercedes. It would also put him second in the most championships won, just behind Michael Schumacher with 7 World Championship, a successful accomplishment for Lewis Hamilton. But there was still a battle going on in the championship, and it was mostly for 3rd place between Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, who were all close on points as we headed into Brazil. But as the championship was already won as we headed to Brazil, would we see more elbows out from other drivers now than we did before?
And it's lights out, away we go, and Sebastian Vettel did get a better start, but it's a short run down to the line, and Verstappen covers him off. Hamilton is trying to squeeze around the outside, and does so. This is Charles Leclerc. And very, very good reactions from Lando Norris to avoid the Ferrari crashing into him. Daniel Ricciardo going around the outside of Lando Norris as well. But he's almost pushing him off onto the grass there. I think Ricciardo did touch the grass. Ricciardo down the inside into Niki Lauda. Oh, he locks up. Magnussen spins round. It's a sub 2 second stop for Max Verstappen, who then has to stop as the Williams of Kubica comes out of his pit box. Hamilton, neat move there on Leclerc. If he can make that stick through Magulio, and he does. Verstappen on the inside tries to get past as well, and now the gloves are really going to come off here. Here goes Verstappen. Lewis tries to cover him off. Verstappen through at turn 1. Oh, that's a huge shame for Valtteri Bottas's first retirement since Germany.
Safety car, full safety car.
Well, safety car. As Max Verstappen over the hill comes wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton. Round the outside of turn 1 he goes. Verstappen's got the restart sorted. Verstappen and Hamilton wheel to wheel through the Cedar de Lago, and Hamilton just has to back out. And at the moment, no, he just wants to get past his teammates, which he does down the Retta Imposta. Can he now fight back? Leclerc made it very tough earlier. Oh no, he's got a puncture. They made contact, and Charles Leclerc's got a puncture. And Vettel's got problems too. And round the outside of Pierre Gasly goes Lewis Hamilton, and back up into the podium places. Oh, and Lewis Hamilton makes contact with Alex Albon. His first podium in Formula 1 is sent spinning and drifting away. The checker flag is out. The Brazilian Grand Prix goes to Max Verstappen a year after he finished second and had it taken away in his redemption day. Hamilton fights Gasly to the line. Gasly comes home to take second place.
After Max Verstappen winning a thrilling Grand Prix in Brazil and taking his first victory since Germany back at the end of July, it would also see another podium position for Toro Rosso, but this time with Pierre Gasly. And after Lewis Hamilton getting a penalty for his collision with Alex Albon, it would see McLaren's Carlos Sainz secure McLaren's first ever podium since Melbourne back in 2014. A long wait for McLaren it had been, but they'd finally got back onto the podium.
It's been a thoroughly enjoyable season. I hope you've enjoyed it along with us, and for one last time, it's lights out and away we go! Lewis Hamilton gets away well, Max Verstappen slips in behind him, Charles Leclerc ahead of Sebastian Vettel, Alex Albon has the McLaren of Lando Norris for company, and Norris gets past Sainz and gets a tap for his troubles as well. Into the pits then comes the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Double stacking. Oh, and he was stationary for way too long, almost 3 times as long. Antonio Giovinazzi getting past Robert Kubica. Do they touch? Oh, they do. Verstappen dives down the inside on Charles Leclerc. Leclerc saw him coming. Verstappen broke that fraction later and goes wheel to wheel with Verstappen and comes off worse. Down into the chicane. Albon's got the inside line. Sebastian Vettel has to jump on the brakes. Goes round the outside, and Sebastian Vettel moves into 5th place. And Perez has got past Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz trying to get at Nico Hülkenberg has now got Daniel Ricciardo right behind him as well. It is Lewis Hamilton winning in Abu Dhabi to cap a championship winning season in 2019.
So as the 2019 season came to an end, it would see Lewis Hamilton win his 6th World Championship We would also see a struggle for Ferrari and a very positive side to Ferrari as well. We would see Toro Rosso secure 2 podiums this season and McLaren with 1 podium from the first time since 2014. Leclerc took his first win. Max Verstappen took 3 victories for Red Bull, which looked promising with the new partnership with the Honda engine. Lewis Hamilton would also win 11 Grand Prix victories this season as well, and would only be off the podium 4 times. This season would also see Carlos Sainz finish 6th in the Drivers' Championship for McLaren, beating Pierre Gasly to it. Lando Norris did not have the best of luck this season as well, especially in Belgium. We lost many greats this season in Anton Hubert, Charlie Whiting and Niki Lauda. As we now move on to the 2020 F1 season, who would come out on top? Would we see Mercedes secure their 7th consecutive Constructors and Drivers' World Championship? And who would it be? Would it be Valtteri Bottas or Lewis Hamilton? Or would we see Ferrari make a massive comeback from their letdown in 2019? As Red Bull as well, what could they do with their partnership with Honda? Will they be even better? Well, will we see McLaren get even better as well as they finish 4th in the Constructors Championship? We'll say goodbye to Nico Hülkenberg after a long season and never got a podium in the end, a very disappointing result for the German driver, and we say hello again to Esteban Ocon, who'll be partnered alongside Daniel Ricciardo as well. We'll get all your answers to 2020 on March 15th at the Australian Grand Prix. What will happen is Formula 1 returns very soon.
So strong.